Linus Mel, and thank you for stopping by and checking out my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about how I'll be doing my no-dig garden bed on the front property. And instead of doing cardboard boxes, I'll be using yard waste bags instead. That's cut out into sheets. Now I know it's not really recycling if I'm just buying stuff to put on the ground, but I just find that it's easier for me to put the sheets together if they're all in one size, and I don't have to take away different tapes and all that. If you're not familiar what no-dig method is all about, I'm gonna link a couple of channels below where they would explain it better than what I would do. But what I really like about no-dig gardening is that, well, A, it's easier. You just lay the sheet, put some mulch or some soil, and then just wait. And then number two, it preserves soil structure. And what I mean about that is that when you dig, you don't kill any microorganisms. Microorganisms fixate nutrients that your plants can use so that they can thrive. So instead of adding more fertilizer, you can just let the microorganisms fixate the nutrients for you, and then your plants will grow. That's my plan anyway. Another reason why I'd like a good soil structure in my garden is that it allows for better oxygenation in the root system. So there you go. I want to preserve soil structure because it provides oxygenation in the root system, and it's more habitable for microorganisms. I don't end up killing them when I dig them. As of now, I have my garden in my fence area, which is that's west, so on the north side of my house, which is south facing. So I plan on making another bed on the west facing side of my property. There's going to be two beds, one on each side of the walkway. The one on the right hand side of the entryway is already done. And what I did was that I covered the ground with sheet mulch with the yard waste bags. And a few days beforehand, I collected the leaves that fell from my maple trees and then shredded them using my leaf shredders. And I put all those on the ground on top of the sheet mulches. Now, to get the decomposition going, I added some fertilizers on top of the shredded leaves. And then once that's done, I put topsoil right on top. So from November to April, so that's December, January, February, March, April. So 5 months. In 5 months, those layer of leaves and the sheet mulch should have decomposed a little bit. And then I'll plant some cover crops on top around April or so. And the cover crop that I'm planning on planting in that spot is a fall rye. So I'll plant that and let it grow for about a month before I terminate it, and then wait for a couple of weeks, and then I can plant my dahlias on the right hand side, facing my doorway on the right hand side. I'll show you on the clip. However, when I was ready to do the other half of the front property, I ran into problems. First of all, the weather. In October, there were about 14 days where it rained. So that delayed me into getting stuff done outside. And then by the time it stopped raining, it was warm, and then bam, it snowed. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't really want to be lugging my cart through the snow. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard. I mean, I like working out. I like doing sleds and all that, but not in the snow. Anyway, it snowed, so my pile of triple mix needs to thaw out before I could touch it again. And another thing that I have to consider is that because the weather was not cooperating for any outdoor activities, the deck that we're trying to get stained didn't get finished. So instead, we'll have to wait until early spring to get that done. Now what that means for me in terms of gardening is I can't really plant anything on that other bed until maybe July, when hopefully they'll be done with the decks. So I have to develop a new plan. So instead of just putting sheet mulch right on the ground, I'm gonna go out with my mechanical mower just to cut the tops of the grass on the spot where I'm gonna put the sheet mulch on. In my head, the addition of cut grass clippings will be nitrogen, and the nitrogen will encourage decomposition when mixed with carbon, and that carbon would be sheet mulch. It would have been nice if I had the chance to use my leaf shredder for all the leaves, but I just ran out of time. So I will instead use a shredder, no, not a shredder, a lawnmower, the lawnmower that I have, to break the leaves into smaller pieces. Because the size of the leaves will be bigger, it will decompose slower compared to the ones that went through the leaf shredder. And I think by adding grass clippings on this bed, it will help with decomposition further. Now I could just cover the sheet mulch with topsoil and then just be over it. But I find that if I use shredded leaves on top of soil, the earthworms really like it. They like it so much that they turn the soil into really crumbly, humusy, nice, healthy soil. And that's what I want for that bed. So even though it's a lot more work, I'm gonna do it. So on top of the shredded leaves, I'll also add some fertilizer just to add more nitrogen into the shredded leaves and, like I said, help with decomposition. And just like the other bed, I'll also put topsoil right on top of. Now, because I can't plant on that bed until maybe possibly July, I plan on planting some cover crops for that bed. And the cover crop that I am planning on planting on that bed would be buckwheat. Buckwheat should germinate after the last frost, and after a month or so, I should be able to terminate it, let the foliage die, and by July I should be able to plant flower seedlings that would correspond to fall colors. So that would be sunflowers, zinnias, and possibly Rubensa cosmos. Hope you find this video helpful, and let me know if you would try this in your garden. Also, if you're curious on the kinds of bulbs that I have planted or will be planting on my garden, you should check out my previous video, maybe right over here. And then next week, I should have a video of planting those late bulbs that I ordered from Bessie's. So until next time, bye!